The Los Angeles Lakers are in a 3-1 hole thanks to their offense drying up in the fourth quarter in games 3 and 4 against the Minnesota Timberwolves. Going back to game 3, these two teams were in a tough back and forth game. With Luka Doncic battling a stomach illness, LeBron shouldered most of the offensive load for the Los Angeles Lakers, finishing with 38 points and 10 rebounds. However, turnovers from an especially sluggish Luka Doncic was part of a 19 turnover night, turning into 28 Timberwolves points. Despite nearly everything going against them, Doncic hit a jumper to tie the game at 103 apiece with about 4 minutes left in the ballgame. Unfortunately, this is when the Lakers offense dried up, only scoring one more point the rest of the way as Ant shot a three-pointer in Luka's face to give Minnesota the lead for good as they closed the game on a 13-1 run. Ant's shot making and also his playmaking were on full display, especially in critical junctures of game 3 for Minnesota. That 13-1 run was a combination of both of these factors. The kick out to Nas was excellent work navigating the blitz from LA, finding Nas on the left elbow. The second of his jump shots was the dagger to give the Timberwolves control of the series at 2-1. In game 4, it was a similar close ball game. The Lakers found their groove in the second half, taking a 12-point lead and even holding a 7-point lead with 5 minutes to go. Once again, the Lakers offense goes cold. Luka gets careless with multiple turnovers and goes 1 for 6 from the field, missing an easy layup late. Meanwhile, LeBron James was doing everything he could on the defensive end, providing several stops for the Lakers. However, he had some costly mistakes, including a bad inbound pass, and several poor shot selections led to his scoreless fourth quarter. His foul late in the fourth quarter on Anthony Edwards was certainly controversial as he barely nicked the wrist of Edwards, and that came on the heels of Jaden McDaniels tripping up Luka Doncic. That was a no call. The physicality in this game was very evident, but I really wish the refs swallowed their whistles in the final frames to maintain the physicality that was set in game 4. Edwards sinks the 2 free throws to give him a 3-point lead, and the Lakers failed to tie the game in their last possession, and now they trail 3-1. Another key factor of this fourth quarter collapse in game 4 was the lack of aggressiveness on offense. I know that both Luka and LeBron are very talented offensive players, and they did a really good job in getting Nas Reed on the perimeter. And while Nas is very good offensive player, he is not the best defender, let alone on the perimeter, and somehow managed to get stops on both of those matchups, and that's really good work by Nas Reed. The Timberwolves supporting cast has played so much better compared to the Lakers. Julius Randle has been competing his tail off all series long despite getting some tough matchups on defense, but has provided ample scoring alongside Anthony Edwards. Jaden McDaniels, who's known to be a defender, has been a surprise offensively. While his offensive game is mostly based off of catch and shoot and with some occasional slashing to the rim, he's been hot this series, scoring at least 25 points in 2 out of the 4 games. Nas Reed has been unreal in this series. He's been perfect from the field in the fourth quarter for the entire series so far. His ability to find holes in the Lakers' defense to knock down back-breaking three-pointers has been huge for the Minnesota Timberwolves. And like I mentioned earlier, he's not known to be a great defender, but when tasked to guard LeBron James and Luka Doncic on the perimeter, he stepped up to the task, conceding no damage against the Lakers' 2 best players, preserving the Minnesota Timberwolves 8 lead. Anthony Edwards, where do we begin? He's becoming one of the league's biggest superstars, as his combination of shot making, his development as a playmaker, and his defensive tenacity on the perimeter have made him a lethal player. Ant went after Luka Doncic several times, as we talked about in game 3, but his game 4 aggression against Luka was pivotal as he poured in 43 points And I really think that he wanted to prove that he is the best player on the floor, and he's certainly looking the part. His patience in letting the game come to him, scoring in a variety of ways, has led to the Timberwolves taking a commanding 3-1 series lead. The playmaking by finding the open man, navigating these blitzes and double teams sent by the Lakers' defensive schemes. Assists led to a lot of huge baskets. This one to Dante DiVincenzo in the corner after recovering a loose ball, or finding Jaden McDaniels on a drive and kick out, and then later finding Jaden on a dump off for the easy dunk, or on the crossover where he gets the entire Lakers defense to collapse to him in the paint and he finds Julius Randle open under the basket for the layup. Ant's aggression has been huge for Minnesota. In fact, in Game 4, he attempted 17 free throw attempts, making 14 of them. His patience on this stop and sidestep move on Hachimura was huge, plus the 2 threes that he sank in Luka's face in the fourth quarter was part of a 16-point fourth quarter that sparked the Minnesota Timberwolves comeback to take this 3-1 series lead. The Lakers have only themselves to blame for being in this 3-1 series hole. Like I said earlier, the role players from Minnesota have stepped up, whereas the Lakers haven't. And it's very evident that the Lakers are a two-man band waiting for either Austin Reeves or Rui Hachimura to step up. To be fair to both of those players, Reeves has been good in Game 3 and did come on late in Game 4, especially in the second half. And Hachimura had his best game in Game 4. However, the way the Lakers closed out the first 2 quarters in Game 4 was pretty disappointing, when the Lakers were up 32-22 with about 40 seconds left in the first quarter, only for Anthony Edwards to make 2 baskets that led to that lead being cut in half. In the second quarter, the Lakers were up 8, but the Wolves would go on a 19-8 run to close the half and take the lead. This is eerily similar to last year when the Minnesota Timberwolves played the Phoenix Suns, and in that matchup, the younger, more athletic team in the Timberwolves just had the better matchup against the Phoenix Suns, who went out poorly in a 4-game sweep. And that series, the Suns were a similar team to the Lakers, where they're very star-centric and while lacking depth. And in Game 4, JJ Redick emptied the tank. He let all 5 guys, Dorian Finney-Smith, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, LeBron James, and Luka Doncic, played the entire second half, and this was a gamble that did not pay off. LeBron did everything that he could on defense, but seemed to run out of gas, as like I said earlier, he scored 0 points in the fourth quarter. The Lakers, as presently constructed, do not have enough to get through a team like Minnesota. That youthful athleticism has proven to be their downfall in this series. Even in Game 2, the one game that they've won in this series, they were up early and often. They were up big in the third quarter, and that lead slowly evaporated in the fourth quarter as they were barely able to tie up the series back in LA. I, like many other basketball analysts, underestimated that the Lakers, while they do have 2 big stars, lack depth. And outside of Austin Reeves, who has been off this series, uncharacteristic to how he's been all regular season, has really proven that the Lakers aren't quite the contender that they seem to be in the regular season. Down 3-1, it's very possible that they can come back, and it all starts in Game 5, where they have to get a win to keep their season alive. But I do not project this series going past Game 6, as I think the Minnesota Timberwolves, at worst, will close this out in 6 games. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. Will the Lakers keep their season alive, or will the Timberwolves close this series out?